Hi everyone and welcome to today's workout. So today we're going to do a Pilates routine using a resistance band just to add some variety to your workout. So you need a long resistance band and one that has some give in it as well. Okay, so we're going to do a full body workout and we're going to start in sitting. So bring yourself into a sitting position, get equal weight on both of your bottom bones and have your knees and feet about hip distance apart. So we're going to take hold of the band with a tail on either side and just relax your arms down. So lengthening through your spine, we're going to think about gently engaging through your core, ribs are down, chest really nice and open. And then we're just going to take that band with some tension and we're going to lift it up overhead and back down again. So here we're just working on your posture, working on that length of your spine, breathing out, breathing in. So I want you to be maintaining that core engagement just to warm it up for the rest of our class today. So we're going to take just one more like this. And then from here, we're going to wrap it around the soles of the feet for a seated row exercise to work the upper back muscles. So you might need to wrap it around the hands just a little bit for some more tension. From here, keeping that length, keeping that core engaged, we're going to draw the elbows back behind us for a rowing motion and then bring it back. So roll the arms back, pull in through that core and then release. We're going to exhale, roll back, and inhale, release. So as you come back, you're drawing your shoulder blades back and down and then return. Let's breathe out, breathe in. So feeling the shoulder blades gliding back, the elbows squeezing behind and then releasing. Lengthening through that head and return. We're going to take 4 more. We've got 4, 3, keeping tall through the chest, 2, and 1. We're going to bring the abdominals into it a little bit more with the obliques, the side muscles. You might need to open out your band perhaps depending on the tension that you have. Bring the knees together and as we roll back, we're going to pull to one side and then back. So we're rolling and pulling and lifting. So we're getting like a side roll as well as getting those oblique muscles working. Breath out, breath in. Now it's up to you how far you want to roll with these. The further you go, the harder it's going to feel on those core muscles. We're exhaling to reach, inhaling, sit tall, and let your lower back curve with you. We're not wanting to maintain a straight back for these. We want to use those curves in your back to work. And tall. So let's exhale, pull to the side, inhale back, breath out and back. Lengthening tall. We've got 3 to go and tall, 2 and back and 1. Staying up tall this time. From here, we're going to take it into the backs of the arms for the triceps, but maintaining that core activation. So you might need to loosen the band perhaps, depending on how yours is feeling. We'll try here. So I'm going to keep my elbows in fairly the same place here. So center engaged, I'm going to squeeze these arms back straight and then bend at the elbows. So I'm pushing back behind me and back to the start. So think about using those shoulder blade muscles that we worked on our first exercise, the seated row, shoulders back and down, arms nice and straight, and then back to the start. Drawing in through your core for support, and then back to the start. Exhaling, reach, inhaling back. So maintaining that length through your spine, using the shoulder blade activation and then adding in those triceps for some nice arm work here. Exhaling back, inhaling. Think core drawing inwards, pelvic floor lifting up from underneath. We're going to take 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to put those 3 movements all together now. So we're going to take our seated row, then we're going to take our oblique rows and down, and then 2 triceps. So from there, let's straighten and back. And again, back to our row. So we're going to row for 2 this time and row, oblique roll to the side, a little bit further if you can, and here, and then 2 triceps, elbows still, squeeze it back, oh dear, and 1 more. Good. Okay, from there we're going to take it down into lying. You can use the band for a little bit of support here, so we're going to go really super slow, curve through your spine, bring it down onto the floor, and then just slide your band away from you. So make sure we've got enough space. We're going to come into lying. So just take a moment to rock your pelvis backwards and forwards a few times so that you are rested across the middle here. Rib cage is drawn down and just your natural space underneath your lower back. You're going to double your band over in half. Lifting the arms to the ceiling, you're going to soften the shoulder blades into the mat here. So we're going to take a stretching exercise here. So we're going to lengthen one leg and both arms away for double leg stretch with one leg. So core engages, we are going to stretch away and then come back to the start. As you stretch away, feel that pull on the band, and then channel that down to your core. So as I pull this band apart, I want to feel my core tightening around my waist. Breathing out, lengthen. Breathing in, return. Think of drawing a straight line with this leg and then using those core muscles to come back. Okay, so we want to feel like that belt is getting tighter around your waist, especially here. When we're fully stretched out, feel that belt tightening to come back. Lengthen away tension on your band, draw it back to the start. Breathing out, breathing in. Now the aim here is to stretch those arms and toes as far away as you can and use that belt of tension across the middle to keep things in place. Breath out. Breath in. We're going to take 4 more. 4. Keep drawing that straight line. 3. 2. And 1. Good. Keeping the arms above the head, come back into your neutral pelvic position, so we're comfortable there. We're going to take it into a hip twist now. So soften those shoulders down once again. So I'm going to move one leg out to the side. I'm going to pull the band with the opposite arm and bring it back here. So we're creating opposing forces. So one leg out, the opposite arm, and we return back. Keeping that rib cage drawing down towards your hip bones. Now you'll start to feel this in your upper body working as well. Partly in the moving arm, but also in the arm that you are keeping static behind, because it's having to stabilize everything. So there hopefully is a lot of muscle activity going on. So as the arms are working, feel that core drawing inwards and returning. Let's breathe out as we pull. Breathe in as we come back. It's really good to work with the breathing if you can. It makes those abdominals more efficient. And I think it just really gives you something to focus on, as well as all your coordination. It keeps us at a steady pace as well. Instead of going too fast, it makes sure that each movement is the same. Let's take 1 more here and then relax. We're going to come up to double tabletop now to work these abdominals a little bit harder. So float one leg to tabletop, deeper core engagement, bring the second leg to tabletop. Okay, just make sure your arms are comfortable, shoulders are melted. We're going to take scissors, and so scissors looks like this. We're going to toe tap and back, and then toe tap. But as we do this, we're going to try and bring the arms overhead. So make sure that rib cage feels drawn downwards. We're going to tap and back, pulling tension on your band as you come overhead. Let's exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. So imagine that there's a dot on the floor and you want to find that exact spot every time you tap your toe down. Okay, keeping that leg in line with your hip. Breath out, breath in. Now pull tension on your band and then channel that tension down towards your core. So you want to be really thinking about where you're moving from as we go here. We're going to take 4 more. We've got 4. Keep breathing. 3. Keeping that lovely spine position. 2. And 1. Good job. Hug those knees into your chest for a moment and let's just take a breath. Okay, let's release the legs one at a time. We're going to take it round onto all 4s now. So bring yourself around and you're going to take your band and you're going to hold it again with your sort of tails on either side, and we're going to place it underneath the hands on the mat here. So bring your knees hip distance apart and the arms shoulder distance apart. You're going to lift through your chest, shoulders back away from your ears. We're going to take it into some aeroplane arms to work the arms and the core. So with your core engaged, you're going to choose one arm. We're going to pull it out to the side and then come back to hover. Stretch it out and back to hover. So you'll feel your static arm once again having to work hard here. The moving arm, of course, is getting some tension through, but I can really feel that channeling through my core underneath me. So lots going on. Let's breathe out, pull, breathe in, come back. Taking one more like this. Okay, from there, we're now going to send the opposite leg out at the same time. So come into this position here to begin, just to feel your balance. And then we're going to lift and tap, stretch and tap, breathing out, breathing in. So squeezing up into that bottom and down, keeping strong through that static arm at the front. We're going to take 3, keep it steady, 2, and 1. Good. Let's just take a quick child's pose to get the weight off of the arms and shoulder. And then we're going to repeat on the other side, doing the arms first to find your balance. So just adjust so we've got weight equal on all 4s, core nice and active. Lift that hand. And then we're going to reach out and then come back to hover over the mat. Exhaling, stretch. Inhaling, come back. So keeping that equal pressure, try not to lean to that good arm. Keep your shoulders back. We've got 3 more. 3 and back. Keeping those hips really still. 2 and 1. So from here, adding in that leg, so you might just want to bring it into the stretch position, pull up through your core underneath to get ready, and then as we stretch, we're going to lift and come back to hover. Lift, back to hover. So pulling up through that core underneath, there's lots going on. So let's breathe out, breathe in, keeping that arm nice and strong. Lift and back. Now we want to squeeze up into that bottom. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's just take that down one more time. Catch your breath for a second. And then just come into sitting. We're going to tie our band around our legs now, just to do a little bit more isolated hip work. So you want to tie it fairly tight. Make sure you can only get to about hip distance apart, and then tie it into a bow if you can, just because I find it makes it easier for you to untie at a later date. And then have your band just below your knees, okay? So popping it below, bring yourself onto that side, and then from there, stack the hips, the knees, the ankles. You're going to take your top hip and draw it down towards your toes so that you have a space underneath here. And we want to keep that space so that we're working through our core throughout. So let's engage through our center. We're going to take top leg up and lower down. Breath out, breath in. So you're going to point your toes as we lift, pull them back as we come down. Now, if you're a little bit wobbly today, this hand can come out in front to support you. Otherwise, it's going to stay here, keeping you steady. So I want you to use the band today. Let's lift as high as you can, up into that band and back down again. Exhaling and inhaling. Let's keep that rib cage drawn in towards us. So feel the rib cage pulling down and then the core tightening, so it's sort of all working in one. Lifting and down. We've got 4. Point your toes as you lift for 3, 2, and 1. Good. Okay, from there, just adjust your band, pull it above your knees. We're going to work into some rotation at the hips now. So to do that, you're going to fold the feet behind you just to readjust, stack those hips once again and lift the feet into the air. Draw this top hip down once again so we have that lower waist, rib cage is set. So clam at level 2. We're going to open that top knee and then lower it back down again. So here, try to use the feet as a pivot point. You want to open this knee as far as you can go, but keep the hips facing forwards, okay? So we squeeze that to the top and back down again. Breathing out, breathing in. So just taking your time, but open that hip as far as we can and then back down again. Hand on your hip if you don't need the support in front. On this next one, hold it here. We're going to stretch. Come back, lower down. Breath out, point it out. Come back, lower down. So keep working from here. Keep the balance through the legs and lowering. Breathing out, stretch, come back and down. We've got 3. Use that breath to get you through. 2 and point. 1 more, open and stretch and down. Good, bring yourself up from here. We're just going to take that straight round to the opposite side, making sure the band stays above your knees, but just move the knot out of the way if it's there, and then get yourself down on this side. So we're going to start with our side lift. So you want to make sure that band is just below the knees, just to make sure we're getting the full amount of muscle activation here. So lengthen that top hip down towards the toes once again, making sure we have that gap. Rib cage is drawn inwards, core nice and active. And then when you're ready, we're going to lift and lower. If you're feeling a bit unsteady today, hand in the front for some support. Breathing out. Breathing in. Now you can make this harder by putting the band further down your legs, or make it easier, bring the band further upwards. So let's imagine that you're painting a line on the wall with this big toe, and you're going to lift up as high as you can go and then sweep back down on that same line. So we're exhaling and inhaling. Keep really steady through the middle. Think of that belt tightening around your waist. And just working with that breath for 3 more. Let's get nice and high. 2 and 1 more. Nice and high and down. Adjusting your band for our clam set. So you want to just pull that above your knees this time, since we're going to be bending at the knees. So our hip rotation exercise, feet in line, with your hips and bottom. Draw this top hip downwards. Make sure we have that space. Set your rib cage, feet lift, glue the feet together, and then we're good to go. Lift and down. So keep this top hip here facing forwards. And because we've got the band for today's class, I want you to really push into that band and back down. Let's make good use of it since it's here today. Okay, let's keep that good system here, that rib cage down, core active as we go through. Using the outward breath to open, inward breath to close down. 2 more like this. And then 1 more, holding it here this time. We're going to add our stretch, come back and lower down. Breathing out, stretch, come back and down. So get the height of your hips first, open that knee before we point, feet together and down. Maximize the opening, stretch out, together and down. Let's breathe out for the stretch. Breathe in, close down. Make sure that you still feel like you're working from that core, okay, even though the hips are getting the workout. We've got 3, come back and down. Point out and back. Last one and stretch, come back and down. Good work from there. Let's come up. Just slide your band off. We're just going to do a little bit of stretches to cool down. So pop your band to one side. We're going to start with our swan stretch. So upside down V, stretch this leg out and then just melt over the top of that knee. Nice big breath out as we lie over the top. You can walk round to your shin for a deeper stretch and just breathe through. Just tell your hip to let go, relax, and then lifting up from there. Keep your feet offset as they are. We're going to take our mermaid stretch. So we're just going to come up and over to one side as far as you're comfortable to go. And then do the same over to the other side towards the feet here. And then lifting. Swan stretch on this side. So leg down. Fold that leg round if you can and melt over the top here. Take a nice big exhale. Melt down into your mat towards the shin or toes for a deeper stretch. And just breathe out. Coming up into sitting, keep your feet offset once more. Straighten up through your spine. We're going to mermaid stretch over. So lifting through that rib cage, through those abdominals. And then come up and over to the other side. And then rest from there. And that is us finished our Pilates band workout. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love it if you could share it with some friends and be sure to subscribe to the channel to keep posted with any future videos. So enjoy the rest of your day and thanks for joining me.